Christine is a pretty typical 15-year-old teenager dealing with a lot of issues in her life right now. She's often anxious, dealing with anxiety. A lot of that has to do with her peers and how she fits in. Does she fit in with her friends? Where does she belong? Where does she get her sense of identity from? Very common thing. She gets depressed as well. Stress from school, just being in that school environment. And things at home aren't always that great either. She and her parents are often at odds and having difficulty, having struggles. Her mom reached out to me and said that they've tried a number of things to help her. They've tried some therapy, it's been partly helpful, but not happy with the results, not enough, want to make more changes. So they called me and said, what else can we do? And her desire, the mom's desire, was really to reclaim that bond that she had with her child, with Christine. She didn't like all the fighting and all the arguing and all the difficulty they were having. She wants to have that connection and that bond. Well, that's what this is all about. The 3 pathways. We're going to take you down a positive road that's not therapy, it's looking forward, helping you make some changes and giving you and your parents something positive to work on together so that you can have a win. You need a win in your relationship to get it on a better footing. And what we're going to do is work on your strengths. If we can focus on your strengths, we're going to have a whole new vocabulary and a whole new positive thing that you and your parents can talk about. Not the problems, not your weaknesses, which we focus on a lot. Strengths. We call it soaring on with your strengths. We want you to soar with your strengths and have your mom or dad work with you and encourage you in that. So that's what this first segment's about, understanding that. Let me tell you a little bit about where this came from. A guy named Don Clifton. He was a graduate student at the University of Nebraska studying psychology. And it occurred to him that the only thing they were doing was studying what's wrong with people, focusing on exclusively what's wrong, on the problems, the challenges that people were facing. He said, why is that? So he went to the library, talked to the librarian and said, there's a lot of books here about what's wrong with people. Where's the section in psychology with what's right with people? She said, no, there isn't anything like that. He said, well, I'm going to work on that. That became his life's work, actually. He said, I'm going to study what's right with people. I'm going to look at the things that have made people successful and effective and had an impact on the world. Those people are the ones we want to study because we want to be like them. So that set him on a journey of investigation and research and interviewing people all around the world to find out what was making them effective and successful. He ended up coming up with an assessment then, through all his research, very scientifically based, that can help us all see what our strengths are and what we can contribute to the world. He's known as the father of positive psychology. So it's a typical psychology where we focus on what's wrong. Now we're going to focus on what's right and what's good about you and give you a win with your parents. So Don Clifton is the father of positive psychology. And we've used that to model our 3 pathways program. Our coaches we're going to lead you through the 3 pathways, give you a win, and then work on connection, and then work on your own character. Positive things to work with. We want to build a connection with your parents. I love superheroes and superhero movies. I think I like most about them is that superheroes have this superpower. They've got something they can do that almost nobody else can do. And they can really make an impact on the world. But there are also real people who deal with struggles. They have relational problems. They have family problems. They get bullied. Spider-Man is one of my favorites. Spider-Man's been around for a long time. This new iteration of Spider-Man is a lot better. And it's very clear, Spider-Man's a teenager. He's a teenager. And as a teenager, he deals with folks that bully him. And he has problems and conflicts in his relationship. He's trying to find out who he is. He's got a dual identity. He doesn't know who he is. He's a superhero with these superpowers, and then he's this teenager with normal teenager issues. What really helps him, and this is the case with almost all superheroes, is they focus on their strength. As they grow, Spider-Man has a mentor who helps and coaches him to how to use that strength, how to use it in productive ways, how to use it to really make an impact. The tendency is just to use it all over the place and do whatever he wants with his strength, but having it be used wisely, it gives him a sense of mission and identity and purpose in his life. That's what we want for you. We want you to realize how unique and special you are, and how you and your parents focus together on that uniqueness, what makes you special. And then talk about how to build that into your life and how to grow in that, and how that might even affect how you determine the direction of your life. That's soaring with your strengths. To do that, we're going to have you take an assessment. This is what Don Clifton created, what's called Strengths Finder now. And then they made a variation of it called Strengths Explorer. That's for younger teens, 10 to 15. We're going to have you work on that. There's a lot of great tools within it. But what you're going to do, you're going to take that assessment, and you're going to, it's about 15 minutes long. You're going to answer a whole bunch of questions. Don't worry about your answers too much. Don't get all stressed about it. It's not a test that's going to be graded. It's just something that's going to help this tool to gather what is special about you. And you're going to come out with 3 things. There are 10 talent themes, we call them, that can become strengths as we develop them. 3 of them, you're going to get your 3 top talent themes. And that's what we're going to then talk about. Understanding, first of all, we're going to understand what they are, first of all. So that's your assignment. Your first assignment is to take the assessment. Your parents, have details on how to do that if I haven't sent them to you. Not hard to do. We're going to give you a code. You're going to go and do it. Then you're going to get a report. And then I want you to sit down and read through that report, and I want you to talk about it with your parents. And tell each other stories about how you see that strength working out in your life. Real stories, not just concepts, but stories. Have your mom or your dad tell a story about how they see that positive quality working out in your life. Tell stories. Then I want you to journal. Every week, I'm going to have you journal your thoughts, your reflections. This is what you feel about it, what you think about it. Get a real live journal, paper, use a pencil or pen, and write in a journal. Something really helpful in the learning process about writing things down. If you write them down, it gets ingrained in your brain in a way that it doesn't when you just type or voice text or whatever you do. Write it down. So journal. Take the assessment, talk to your parents, journal, and then you're going to, if you're working with a coach, then you're going to have a meeting with your coach. Your coach is going to guide you through what to do next, where to go from here. There are also 2 additional videos on our website, the3pathways.com. Go to videos, and section 1, you're going to have videos there, 2 other great videos that's going to help you understand strengths a little bit better from somebody else other than me. So you'll enjoy that. Make sure you watch those 2 videos, journal your thoughts. When I say journal, I want your reflections. What impacted you? What hit you? What was different maybe or new that you had never heard before? Write some of those things down, because your coach will ask you about your reflections. So journal. This course that you're on, this path that we're on, these 3 pathways, it's not a magic solution. Just by watching a video, you're not going to change. You're going to have to do some work. and you and your parent are going to have to do some work, because we want you both to reclaim that bond of friendship that you had when you were younger. We want to get that back. Teenage years don't have to be all strife, but we want to help you focus on this positive win. Then we'll help you more learn how to connect on a different level. So next week, we're going to jump right into connection, community and connection. And we'll talk about more how to do that. For this week, we just want you to focus on your strengths. If you have any questions, reach out to your coach. They'll be happy to help you. Have fun learning about your superpower.